in every question you're asking, every kind of research you're doing, there is women's work involved in it, and it's really important to acknowledge and give sort of credit to that.
Working with like a woman migrant community helped me understand that not everyone has the equal opportunity, even like many of them coming from like diverse background, like cultural background, even for them to leave the country, leave the house, it's like a big experience. Like it's a big thing, and we kind of take it for granted because we kind of have the privilege to do whatever we want and to get all the the best education and best environment. But for some people, when we go outside and meet the people, meet the community, and hear what they experience, it gives us more insights, like what is actually happening out there. So I think meet more people, like go outside, get more connected with community, and also amplifying the voices of other women who are not as lucky as we are, not as privileged as we are.
So I think to answer these questions, it is important to again remember how all of us have these different struggles, and for our research agendas to also take into these things into account. So for instance, again, include not only when we're looking at specific when we're framing the research questions and we're thinking about who we're speaking to always remember those questions of what are the different intersectional communities who are impacted by this.
My research focuses on media representations and how they relate to political issues in the real world. So a big part of that for me is figuring out how to support people who are relatively disempowered and figure out ways to try and affirm them through improving our media ecosystem.
My role, or balancing my role as a researcher and as a part of the community, because I myself is a woman migrant and I'm working with woman migrant as my research participants. So this caring reflexivity is what differentiating the interpretation and the representation. So I'm not just interpret what they're saying and their story that they told me and what I observed, but I also like representing what they want me to amplify. So give them space to amplifying the voice. So that's why caring reflexivity is a way to like balancing. In my case, it's like my role as a researcher, as a woman who's supporting another woman navigating life in Australia.
We come from different backgrounds. We have different struggles that we've had, and the kind of work we're doing, which what we're looking at, different communities, different spaces that we're looking at are going to have very, very different challenges. So it's also important to remember that it's not just like one or two things, or the same thing is required by all women. There may be different requirements, and obviously women from diverse backgrounds, culturally diverse backgrounds, are much more at a disadvantage. We're taken less seriously. We have less opportunities.
One way we can truly give and create opportunities for women is by actually opening doors and opportunities, not just giving advice.
I think it's really important to make these spaces, these networks of sort of women and gender diverse people who can support each other, but also to acknowledge that these supports exist, even if they are not, let's say, even if it's not a specific person of authority who often, people in authority often get credited in certain ways, and people who are providing more horizontal support often do not.
So I think the thing that everyone can collectively do is to work on the conditions and the cultures to achieve this type of a supportive environment, because you can only imagine what is actually can happen and what can occur within a supportive culture.
So the same goes for when we're thinking about how to balance the scales in relation to women in academia. It's on all of us to help support each other and affirm each other and advocate for each other.
I feel optimistic that it's going to be better and better in the future, because it's important to remember that it is important to be kind.